There's a history of basketball excellence at Indiana.
Oklahoma is about to make basketball history.
Nobody expected us to get this far.
Indiana goes to Atlanta.
Nobody can doubt us anymore.
All the hard work is paid off.
We can run it,
Shoot it.
D you up, and shut you down.
If we hustle,
And play our game with passion,
then we will win.
then we will win.
The Jayhawks are about to live up to their promise.
Roy Williams and the Jayhawks are heading back to the Final Four.
The Tips are about to keep a promise that we made to ourselves.
Back-to-back years, the Maryland Terrapins are going to the Final Four.
We're going to get this one for Coach.
We won't let this opportunity slip by.
We can do it all,
In the half court.
or in the end. We made it to the Final Four.
And we're here to win it all.
3 weeks and a dozen cities ago, 65 teams with Georgia on their minds embarked upon a journey in quest of a crown. And now we've reached the end of the road to the Final Four, Atlanta, Georgia. The Georgia Dome has played host to the Olympics, the Super Bowl, and the Rolling Stones. And 2 hours from now, this freshly installed Michigan maple floor will serve as the stage for Indiana and Oklahoma, Kansas, and Maryland in the Final Four. And we are next door in Hoop City, the NCAA's interactive celebration of college basketball, where fans are generally hooping it up. Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome to the Final Four show as CBS Sports continues its exclusive coverage of the 2002 NCAA Men's National Basketball Championship Tournament. This is our 21st consecutive year televising the Final Four. In the first of tonight's national semifinals, you'll see Indiana, the 5th seed from the South, whose road to Atlanta included a conquest of defending champion Duke. The Hoosiers will face Oklahoma, the 2nd seed out of the West. The Sooners have convincingly cast aside all comers thus far. Tip time is 6:07 Eastern. In the second national semifinal, the Midwest top seed, Kansas, is out to bring Coach Roy Williams his first national title in this, his 3rd Final Four. And the Jayhawks will face another tournament top seed, Maryland, from the East. The Terps are the only team making a return trip to the Final Four, and they're here to complete a mission that fell short last year. Tip time is about 8:47 Eastern time. Joining me as he has throughout the road to the Final Four is my partner, Clark Kellogg. And you know, it's an awful lot of work for these 4 teams to have reached this point, but their work has only just begun.
It certainly is, Greg. A point well made and well taken. It's been close to a week since these teams realized they were going to be getting to the Georgia Dome playing for a championship. Now I think all of these players, all of these teams are ready to roll out their best combination of execution, poise, and tenacity to see if they can win a title.
And Clark, take a gander at what they're playing for. The NCAA National Championship Trophy, newly redesigned this year. The winners will claim that on Monday night. Now, one of the biggest concerns for Indiana is the condition of their junior point guard, Tom Coverdale, who suffered a high ankle sprain in the second half of the Hoosiers' regional final win over Kent State. Earlier this morning at the team hotel, Coverdale received last-minute treatment from Indiana trainer Tim Garl.
It's feeling a lot better than it was, so didn't feel too bad this morning. But it's just sore when I do certain stuff.
The stem is designed to help reduce the inflammation, help modify the pain a little bit. And then the ice is, again, to help modify the pain and reduce the blood flow so it doesn't get any additional swelling.
It's been kind of hard because, you know, all the questions you get about, you know, and I didn't even know the questions myself, but, you know, I think you just have
sports presentation of the Final Four show is sponsored by Kinko's Network and by Taco Bell.
Just moments ago, there's Quannas White and the rest of his Oklahoma Sooners teammates leaving their hotel, boarding the bus, getting ready to head on over here to the Georgia Dome. That is Hollis Price giving a good luck kiss on his way aboard the bus. Welcome back to Hoop City in Atlanta on the Final Four show. Coming up, a national semifinal doubleheader as Indiana and Oklahoma square off in the first game, and then later Kansas clashes with Maryland. The Terps are looking for redemption for the bitter defeat they suffered at the hands of Duke in last year's Final Four, but one Terrapin is drawing inspiration from another source. Bonnie Bernstein has the story. Bonnie? Welcome back, everyone. And just a few moments ago, we showed you the Indiana Hoosiers arriving here in the Georgia Dome. And just a moment ago, Armen Keteyian caught up with two key Hoosiers.
Tom, first of all, how's the left ankle, and are you going to play tonight? You going to start? What's the status?
I'm not sure about starting, but I'm definitely going to play. This is the Final Four, so if I can't, it'd be disappointing if I couldn't play. So I'm just going to go out there and, obviously not be 100%, but just do the best I can.
What's your biggest concern? Is it the conditioning, or is it the lateral movement of the ankle?
I think it's just, cutting off of it and sprinting is what I've had the hardest problem with. But, it's obviously going to be limit to me some stuff, stuff I want to do. But, I just want to be out there and compete with my teammates. So I'm, pretty happy that I'm getting to play.
All right, Tom. Jared, quick question for you. You're the top shooting team in the tournament, 56%. Is that the answer to Oklahoma, or is there something else in mind?
You got to get the foul line against them. They'll foul you if you get to the basket, so we got to make a really good opportunity to get to the rim and get foul and hit free throws.
All right, good luck, Jared. Thank you.
So you heard Tom Coverdale tell Armen Keteyian that he thinks he's going to play. He's not sure if he is going to start. Also arriving here in the Dome, the Oklahoma Sooners, and Bonnie Bernstein had a chance to talk with Coach Kelvin Sampson.
All right, with Oklahoma coach Kelvin Sampson, your point guard, much like Indiana's, in a little bit of trouble, suffered an ankle sprain earlier in the week. You told me he'd shoot around.
Right. I think he's going to be okay. There's if a kid is 80 or 90% going into the game, I think whatever he lacks, he'll make up with adrenaline and excitement. When you get this far, these kids will play with injuries.
So safe to say he's starting then, right?
He's going to start.
Okay, let me ask you about your father. Had emergency brain surgery before the West Regional got underway in San Jose. You were hoping to have him here today. Were we yay or nay here?
Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to make it. I think that the fact that it was a major surgery and having to travel all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast really tired him up. I think the head area is improving. He'll be okay eventually. He's just not feeling up to come into the game.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time.
Okay, thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you, Coach, and thank you. And as we take a look inside the Indiana locker room, and is it as quiet as you expect, Clark?
Oh, without question, these guys are locked in. You see Jeffrey Newton there, George Leach, Newton with the headphones on. That's typical pregame preparation for a lot of college basketball players these days.
And do you think these guys are thinking about their situation as it affects them regarding Tom Coverdale, or are they past that?
I think they're past it because they probably prepared all week, Greg, knowing that he was going to be limited if he played at all.
Meanwhile, the Oklahoma Sooners, and things are equally cool, calm, and quiet. Not at all like it'll be moments before they step out onto the floor.
Well, once they get between those lines, it'll ramp up quite a bit. But in the meantime, players like to prepare by reading, listening to music of their choice. Some guys go over the scouting report, and it looks like a couple of Oklahoma Sooners perusing the Final Four program right there.
Yeah, I just thought that, and I've said it a couple of times this week, I think these Oklahoma Sooners, for the most part, have been flying under the radar, and a lot of people have been underestimating them. What a mistake that is.
Well, they've caused a lot of turbulence by the way they've played if they've flown under the radar, and that's exactly how they'll try to play. So, disrupt Indiana all game long.
Yeah, so both these teams in the building as we prepare for the first semifinal matchup of the night. Everywhere you turn here in Atlanta this week, chances are you'll bump into fans of the Final Four teams, but the biggest group of people talking basketball in town is the coaches at their convention. Author John Feinstein set his sights on the sultans of the sweatsuit.
To most college basketball fans, the Final Four is 3 games, the culmination of a college basketball season. to America's basketball coaches, most of whom are inside this lobby right now, the games are a mere backdrop to a week-long party which consists of a little bit of business, the annual coaches convention, a lot of storytelling, and an unending stream of gossip. Here at the Coaches Hotel, just getting through the lobby to an elevator can be a challenge. You will encounter every kind of person associated with college basketball, ranging from rich and famous coaches to equipment reps to street agents. It is a melting pot of the basketball culture. The lobby can be a tough place for coaches who expected to be working Final Four week. 10 years ago, after his team had been upset in the second round by Texas El Paso, Kansas coach Roy Williams was accosted by an irate fan in the lobby. "Do you know how bad you guys messed up my bracket?" the fan screamed. Almost always mild-mannered in public, Williams decided he'd heard enough. "Messed up your bracket," he screamed back. "How about what it did to my life?" Several years prior to that, top-ranked North Carolina was upset in the Sweet 16 by Indiana. When Dean Smith arrived in Seattle for the Final Four, he was asked at the rental counter what kind of car he'd reserved. Actually,
CBS Sports presentation of the Final Four show is sponsored by Prudential Financial and by Nivea for Men.
Welcome back to the Final Four show, everyone. As always, this year's road to the Final Four hasn't been a straight shot down the freeway. It was a series of dramas played out along a number of off-ramps and detours. Our camera crews were there to take in an ultimate view of the journey to Atlanta.
The road to this championship is a two-way street filled with highs and lows, but with room enough for only 4 as the road nears its end.
You dreamt about playing in this game since you were a little kid on the playground, the YMCA, the rec center.
Let's go out there, fellas, and scratch, claw, bite, chew, and let's go out there and play winning basketball.
Leave it all out there. Don't have any regrets. No regrets when it's over. 1, 2, 3, go! Ain't about them. It's about us. Who are we? Who are we? Well, tonight, you can show people we are good. I want you to attack tonight.
Y'all ready to play?
Let's go.
1, 2, 3, forward.
Oklahoma becomes the first team to head to the NCAA Final Four in Atlanta.
It's been 10 years for the Hoosiers and their fans. That's an eternity for this storied program with 5 national titles. Indiana goes to Atlanta.
UConn's in trouble defensively. Blake stops, and he's going to take a jumper. It hits the 3. And it's all over. We're going to Atlanta to the Final Four. Maryland 90 and UConn 82.
their map reads Atlanta. 4 teams looking to pull off the road to find a little Southern hospitality. At this time of the tournament, as we approach the Final Four, it's always difficult for Clark and I to pick out our favorite moment during the first 2 weeks of the tournament because there's so many.
There are a ton of them, but one of my favorites on the court, Greg, was Frederick Jones from Oregon bouncing to the rack at a critical time in their game against Wake Forest for this huge throwdown.
You know what I like, and I always like the underdog that rises up to beat the favorite. That's exactly what we had when Creighton defeated Florida, and this is Terrell Taylor, his teammate Kyle Korver on the bench, out with fouls, and all Taylor did was nail that 3 to win it and move the Creighton Blue Jays on in this tournament. Underdogs sometimes rule. Be sure to catch more of the Ultimate Road to the Championship tomorrow at noon Eastern Time here on CBS, and at 3:30 Eastern we'll be back with the Midas Final 2 show, followed at 4:30 Eastern by a CBS Sports special, Glory in Black and White, the story of the 1966 NCAA champions. Up next, we'll try to dash over to the Georgia Dome, and still ahead on the Final Four show, Clark will visit with a pair of coaches named Williams, and Armin Katayan will look at Indiana back home again in the Final Four. Let's go, Clark.
Welcome to the next chapter of the Indiana basketball story.
Now, when you say Oklahoma, you would think basketball.
This tournament taught us what we can do.
We've known all along that we belong right here.
All the practices,
all the work
brought us to this moment.
And we're gonna make it
our own.
We have a legacy to uphold.
We have our first title to win.
No team could ever be hungrier.
Every team dreams of this moment.
We believe in ourselves.
Well, Hoop City isn't 100 miles away, but neither is it right next door. And Clark Kellogg and I had to travel our own personal road to the Final Four in order to make it over here into the Georgia Dome. And welcome back to the Final Four show. We are now live inside the Georgia Dome. The capacity for basketball is 54,000, and the fans are beginning to fill the arena with just about 1 hour to tip off between Indiana and Oklahoma. You know, it's a big week for Williams versus Williams in semifinal play. Serena beat Venus down in Florida, and here in Georgia, we're about to see Roy of Kansas against Maryland's Gary.
CBS Sports presentation of the Final Four show is sponsored by Pacific Life and by Aquafina.
Welcome back to the Georgia Dome as we get set for Indiana and Oklahoma in the first of tonight's national semifinals. And as we approach game time, let's update the injury situations. Let's first check in with Armin Katayan. Armin.
Thank you, Greg. The late news on Tom Coverdale is he will start this game. I just talked to him moments ago. He said he's starting. He gave me the thumbs up sign. Mike Davis, in fact, told me that he believes Tom can play as many as 30 minutes in this game. A couple other Coverdale notes. He is wearing a brace, but he has not taken any kind of pain-killing shot. He told me the damaged area is just too big. One of the assistant coaches telling me the biggest concern they have, obviously, is his conditioning in this game and the pace of the game. Now let's go over to my colleague, Bonnie Bernstein. Bonnie?
Well, Armin, Oklahoma's point guard Quantis White will be starting today, but just watching him shoot around, you can see him limping on that sprained right ankle. And even yesterday at practice, he had trouble pushing off the inside of his foot, making sharp cuts. Kelvin Sampson told me should White struggle, particularly on the defensive end, he has no trouble switching Hollis Price to the point. In fact, he said he did that against Kansas this season, and Price did a good job guarding Aaron Price. He feels equally as comfortable that he'll be able to do the same thing with either Tom Coverdale or Donald Perry. Greg.
Armin, Bonnie, thank you both. When we last left our Final Four teams, they were happily cutting down the nets at their respective regional final sites, which caused us to wonder, whatever happened to those nets?
Well, Coach has one, I think Cove has one, and then all the players got a piece. And I know little Antoine, Coach's son.
And who's going to be cutting down these nets on Monday night? That's the real question. You know, the prevailing opinion around the country as far as this first game is concerned is that Oklahoma is a heavy favorite. What do you think?
Well, you know what I think? I think Indiana's going to be much more competitive, and they've got a chance to surprise the world again if they can get the ball inside. When they beat Duke, they made 2 of 10 three-point shots. Everybody thinks the key to their success is making threes. That's just part of it. I think they've got a chance to really go inside against Oklahoma and do a good job, get to the foul line, and have a chance to prevail.
All right, Clark, coming up, game 1 of the national semifinals, Indiana against Oklahoma. Our colleagues Jim Nance and Billy Packer are set to call the action. Clark and I will see you at the half. Enjoy the game here on CBS.